Hey, folks, here we are. We're back again. Welcome back. This is the second part of my discussion and conversation with Paul. This is where he goes into his second lung transplant and how it went and how it's feeling right now. And one thing I must tell you, this guy looks great. He's an inspiration to me because he's working out, he's fit. It's a beautiful thing to see. But more importantly, his mindset. His mindset is really positive. He's a go-getter, and he's not taking anything for granted. And that's truly inspirational. So I really hope you enjoyed the second part of my conversation with Paul. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Good afternoon, folks. This is Sasha from Lung Transplant Nation. Hope you are doing well. In this conversation, I'm talking to a gentleman who has had two double lung transplants. Now, I did not misspeak. I said two double lung transplant in the span of 2 years. It is a very, very interesting and powerful conversation. I will introduce him. His name is Paul, and you'll get to see what he has to say and what he had to go through. He, when he was born, he had cystic fibrosis all his life, but it was manageable until it became unmanageable. Please like and subscribe to Lung Transplant Nation YouTube channel and also on Instagram so I can keep providing you with some good conversational series. Thank you. So welcome back, folks. This is Sasha again with Lung Transplant Nation. I got Mr. Paul Thibodeau here. Now, the last time, we left off, he was listed for a second double lung transplant, which is amazing, people. You just don't know. I mean, one lung transplant is something.
Yeah.
Second double lung transplant. And like he stated before, his physicians, his team had to fight for him. They literally had to fight for him. So, he's back on the waiting list again. And this time, Paul, take us to you've been waited on for your second double lung transplant, please.
But for the second one, surprisingly, I didn't have any dry runs at all.
Oh, okay.
I was only on the list for 5 weeks this time. Got the call and went in and had my transplant.
Oh, wow.
And when I went in this time, I was a little less nervous, a little more, let's just do it,
Okay.
get it over with. I'm
Because
still a little nervous. I mean, you're still going into a very, very hard surgery.
of course, and the second time around, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but the second time is kind of like, okay, I know this process. I know y'all just do your part. Let me get my part started.
There you go. I like the attitude, man. That's it. You do your job, I do my job, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Okay. So
So,
so you got the call, you're back in the hospital, and then please take us to, when you came through.
I woke up again. I was still intubated. And this time, like the first time they split me like an open heart surgery, straight up and down. Second time they did the clamshell, so it's all the way across the chest.
That's what I
For
had.
some reason they didn't want they don't really like to go in the same incision the second time.
Okay.
So I woke up all bandaged up. And again, they extubated me maybe an hour or two later. It wasn't too bad. And like I said, I didn't feel it too. The only time I felt it is when they pulled it out and it made me gag.
Oh, wow.
I didn't, it was there. I didn't really feel it. So as soon as they extubated me, I sat up and less than an hour later, I was in the chair again next to the bed, trying to move around, because again, that's what my doctor wanted. They don't want you to sit there and be in bed all day. My doctor already told me if I come in this room every day and you're in that bed, you're not going to have a bed. I'm going to take it out of here. Yeah, he said nobody gets better sitting in a bed.
Tough love. I like it. I like it.
I love my doctor. He's a lot like me. He's like, no nonsense. Just what you got to do.
Wow. So you're telling me like right after surgery, you were pretty much up
Yeah,
about.
hours after. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So
surgery was like 8.5, 9 hours, something like that.
wow. So how long was your hospital stay this time?
Right about the same, about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. Whew. Jeez. Even after the second double lung
Mhm.
transplant, they didn't say, okay, let's took extra precaution, extra,
No,
extra measures.
I did stay at the apartment next to the hospital about a
Yeah,
month
yeah.
longer.
Mhm. Okay.
But I did the same process. So as soon as I got in that hospital in the apartment, I started walking a mile a day until I was cleared. Then I would walk to the CrossFit gym and walk back, and I did the same process I did the first time.
Wow.
And for both transplants, I got down to 108 pounds, the 108. I was just skin and bones. There
Yeah.
wasn't nothing left, you know.
You know the crazy thing is that it's the amount of weight you lose like overnight in
Yeah,
I was shocked because I went in at two. I went in around 250, I think I was. And I was 199. I'm like, God damn, like
yeah,
overnight, because the amount of blood and shot and
yeah.
stuff.
And
I'm like,
just your body is using every ounce of energy just to breathe.
mm-hmm.
So it's burning anything and everything you can put in your mouth. And then at the same time, like when you're that sick, it's so hard to, I mean, especially lungs,
Mm-hmm.
it's you got to think, okay, do I need to eat or do I want to breathe? Because you can't do both at the same time.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, it's and for somebody like me, I'm a big eater.
Mhm.
So for me to be like, I can't eat, I'm not hungry. It's there's something wrong. You can tell. There's something up. And I don't feel great.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So did they like did you get were you did you get a trach, like a tube the second time around as well? Like, yeah, where they had to feed you through the tube, or did
No,
you just
no, I
by
neither
yourself?
one I had a feeding tube at all.
Oh wow,
I
okay.
got as soon as I was extubated, they
Mhm.
started giving me like chicken broth, like just
Yeah,
liquids.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think it was like the next day they let me have like some like rice and gravy, some a little
What?
hard, but not nothing crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
I
solid
didn't.
food. I mean, solid food. I mean, listen, man. I mean, God bless you, man. Because I was on feeding tube for 2 3 weeks. I mean, like
Yeah, a lot of people are. Yeah,
at least 2 weeks, man. And you could feel the cold thing going, through my toe. I mean, I had a trach right here. You could still see probably.
yeah. I never had a trach or anything.
I had a trach. So wow. I mean, God bless, man. That is awesome. That is beautiful. That is good to know. Okay, so you started to eat on your own and start
Mhm.
your routine again. And that was back in 2017, if I am I
I was
correct?
yeah. The first one was 2015. The second transplant when I finally got it was 2017.
Mhm. So how long did you have to stay in the apartment next door? I'm sure you
Three
had a lot
months
of
this
tests.
time.
Okay, so you had to stay for three
It was two
months.
months the first time. It was 3 months the second time.
Okay, okay. Um, and from there on, like how how did you feel differently, or is it kind of, what, I'm breathing
Mm.
again, I'm good? What was,
No, I felt great. I mean, I felt wonderful, just like the first time.
Mhm,
The recovery, like the pain in my chest, was a little different because they say when you do clamshell, it
mhm,
cuts through a lot more nerves. So
mhm,
it's a little bit more pain, but it still wasn't like severe pain. I didn't take pain meds. I didn't want any pain meds. I didn't want to get addicted to pain meds. So I'm like,
mhm.
no, I'm not. You can just keep it. I don't need none of that.
Okay.
Um, and so I was able to bear it. Um, and looking back, like people don't know how the process is of like knowing who your donor is.
Mm,
Trying to figure out who your donor is because some people want to know, some people don't.
mhm,
I wanted to know both times. Um, and I remember the first transplant. Um, you writing that note and you can put your first name, you can't put there's certain stuff you can't
yeah,
put,
yeah, yeah.
and that's a hard letter to write.
You, yeah, I mean, I can imagine because I want to know myself. I'm 17 months out, and I'm thinking like, let me wait for my 2 year because there are a lot of things I'm still processing. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
wanted to do it last year before Christmas. I'm like, nah, Christmas is not a good time.
yeah. And so some people want to know right away. Some people take 10, 15 years. It's
yeah, yeah. I
it's
really
different.
think like by the time, between now and October, which would be my second year, I definitely would try at least to reach out. I would want to know because
Yeah.
it's such a sacrifice. It's such a
And I
big.
know my first one. I don't know my second one.
Oh, you don't know your second one?
No,
Okay.
because both people have to want to know for you to
Absolutely.
figure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
They have to want to share. They have to want to be known
yeah.
and so
So
on and
my
so forth.
first one, she actually, the mom of my first donor tried to find me right away.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's
She tried to
wonderful.
find where every organ that he had went to find
Oh,
every person. And she
wow.
found them all.
Oh my God. That's I mean, that's such a this is when this really gets deep. I mean, we can talk about, surgery and this and that, but when you're looking at it, man, it's somebody's child
Mm-hmm.
that passed on in order for us to have a second chance. I mean, to me, if
Yeah, he was in his early. My first one was in his early 20s.
that's like the ultimate sacrifice because people can choose to be like, screw it, I want to be selfish and I don't, but and that's one of the subject that's near and dear to me is like it's organ donation. I really think like more people need to be made aware of organ donation
I agree. Yeah.
and how much good it does. And it's not just because I receive a double lung transplant, but it's like one person in passing going to the other side can literally save
Oh,
bodies of other people
yeah. I
because
think my first donor saved 5 or 6 people.
you see
After
that. I
that.
mean, that's just an amazing
Yeah.
thing.
I got this tattoo right here for him.
Oh,
It's you can see it's the date in Roman
yeah.
course,
Oh, wow. That is awesome, man. That is awesome.
and that's his signature. His dad gave me some paperwork with a signature on it.
Oh,
That's
wow.
his signature. And since he was a Marine, I don't know if you can tell, I got an eagle
Y-
and flag.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did see that online. That is amazing, man. That is amazing. Now you just bring a subject that let me segue into it since you brought it up. Tattoos. Not every centers
Yeah.
agree with that. So what was the discussion that you had? Because my doctor said like, no.
I had several tattoos before.
Yeah.
Um, and so I asked my doctor, so I wanted to get a tribute tattoo. And I asked him, and he's like, look, I'm going to put it to you this way. I would strongly recommend you don't,
Mm,
but if you do, make sure it's somewhere that is extremely clean.
mhm,
And once you get it, you take care of it very well so you don't get an infection.
mhm.
An infection can kill you.
Because that's yeah, that's the biggest fear. That is the biggest fear. Okay, but so you were not hesitant at all, even beyond post transplant, to feel like
No.
I'm used to it. I trust the process, and I'm gonna
Yeah. And,
take.
and my tattoo artist is great, and she is very clean.
Mhm.
And so I was never worried about getting an infection from it. And I'm obsessive about taking care of my tattoos because I want them to look good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I take care of them correctly.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean that's really good to know, man, because and that's the thing. It's like um, I want people to realize that having a transplant is not a death sentence. I mean, yes,
No.
you 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 have to take precaution. You can't be too wild. You can't forget yourself. I mean, especially like in the beginning as well. Especially like less than a year. I mean, I think they say like anything like if you're less than I don't know 3 years or whatever, 2 3 years, you gotta feel your comfort
Yeah.
level basically.
I don't
But
think that I don't think the numbers start getting really better, a lot better till you hit about 5 years out.
yeah, yeah,
The numbers
exactly.
start getting a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
you have to move at your pace and you have to trust yourself. You have to know what you're comfortable. And
Hmm.
if in your mind you're good with it, then that's it. But I
Yeah.
just don't want people to think like, or you have a tattoo, I mean, you have a transplant that you can't do this, you can't do that. Hey,
Yeah.
you
The only
can,
thing I can't do is eat raw food.
yeah, well, yeah.
That's one of the only things I can't do. I can't eat nothing
Yeah,
raw.
and I was never a fan anyway, so I'm not missing anything.
Oh, I love a rare steak and I love sushi. The
Yeah,
only thing I had to give up, but if it's what's the trade off? You
yeah,
know,
exactly, exactly,
life.
exactly. But I mean, I see you also, you very involved. I see, on your page. I mean, if you want to promote your Instagram page, please feel free to do that at any.
Yeah, my Instagram is at Smiley BIBMC.
Okay. Okay.
And you can see all my transplant stuff. My
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
posted it all on there.
Yeah, there's some great stuff in there, especially with your workout, man. I envy you, man. With your workout,
Thank you.
that's just amazing. But I see out and about and do things. So what is your feelings, or what is your take on how you live your life with regard to, quote unquote, we're living in a kind of post-COVID society. So what is it like when you go out and about, when you go to a restaurant? Are you always aware? Do you mask? What is it like for you, basically?
Actually, I don't do anything different than normal people.
Mhm.
Like I don't wear a mask. I pretty much act completely normal. Like I don't go, obviously I'm not gonna go in a public pool or any water that's not that you can't see through, and he's like, I'm
Yeah.
not going in underwater in South Louisiana.
Mhm.
Just for, infection type
Yeah,
purposes.
for the bacteria and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I don't I don't go play with anything like any stray animals or like stuff like normal stuff that you shouldn't do
You
anyway.
don't you don't go pet
Use
Wolverines in the wild,
use that use
or
that thing in
tiger, your
your
LSU tiger.
oh yeah, huge LSU fan. But I mean, like I go normal. I've been to like LSU games and a whole bunch of people and you crowded in there, and I'm never nervous about any of that. I'm gonna live my life to the fullest. You don't want to get sick, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be the boy in the bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Because it's the nuance of, like, I went through a lot, man, and I got this new lease on life, so I might as well, enjoy it, because that's another thing too. I said to myself, you know what, I'm thinking doing bucket list right now. Before I'm like, we got time for that nonsense. But like, I'm right now, last year I finally went to, I went to Florida. I took a plane, I was freaking out in the beginning, but took a ride down to Florida. A couple of months I'm going to Canada. Yeah, by late summer going to Europe. So I'm planning things, man.
Yeah, definitely. I tell people,
I,
all the time, like you got to live,
yeah,
live like it's your last day because you never know when it is.
yeah, yeah,
It could
yeah,
all be taken from you quick.
yeah, yeah.
So don't put off stuff because I could do that another day. What if another day never comes?
No, yeah. I mean, listen, man, you're absolutely right. And everybody got to move at their own pace. So I want people
Oh
to
yeah.
understand that everybody got to move at their own pace, what you're comfortable to do, and so
Mm-hmm.
on and so on. Don't do things because no, we're not telling you to do it.
Yeah.
We're just telling you to, basically, this is how we choose to do it. This is how Paul did, chose to live.
Yeah. This is just
And-
the way I
exactly,
chose to
exactly.
do it, the way I look at life.
Exactly. And then, you can take whatever you want to take, from that,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I mean, one thing I want to talk to you about, which I didn't even know existed, transplant games. Tell me
Yes.
about that, man. I mean, I was like, wow. I mean,
I've
I said
been
you went to one
been
in
in two.
Utah and everything else. So tell the people who doesn't know, because I have no
Well,
idea.
the Transplant Games of America, it's pretty much like the Olympics for people who had organ transplants.
So it doesn't matter which one.
Huh?
It doesn't matter if
You
it's.
could be a living donor and compete, like obviously a kidney,
Mhm.
or you could be a recipient. It has to be, and they have categories for solid organs, which is pretty much about 90 to 95% of the people there, and they also have the ones for like bone marrow, stuff like that. There's another category for them.
That is interesting.
But it's every other year, and
Mhm.
it's a different city in the United States. Um, I did it in 2018. I think it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
2018
in Utah,
in
right?
Utah.
Yeah,
Say
yeah.
yeah, in Utah is beautiful where we went. Salt Lake City is beautiful. And I competed over there, and it was my first time, so I really only did a couple events. I was a little nervous. But then we were supposed to do it in 2020, but obviously that got canceled. So last year it was finally back, and it was in San Diego, California,
Oh, nice.
and I competed in 4 events.
Oh,
I got 2 gold medals, 2 silver medals.
get out of here. Oh, man.
Yeah, I got a gold in the 100-meter sprint, and I got gold in partners golf. And
Okay.
then I was on the basketball team and volleyball team, and we got silver in both of those.
Oh wow. I mean, you the original Iron Man. Who need Tony Starks, man? What's going on? That is awesome. That is awesome. That is
Yeah,
great.
right now I'm trying to become a bodybuilder, so we're gonna see how that journey
Hey,
goes.
listen, in my opinion, my humble opinion, you're probably halfway there, if not three-quarters of the way there. I mean, listen, you look better than what
Thank you.
people online trying to, show that
My,
they
my ultimate goal is to become, as far as I know,
Mhm.
the first IFBB pro that has had solid organ transplant.
Wow.
I don't think anybody has. So
Mhm.
uh, if not, hey, like, at least I could be the second.
Hey, listen, man, it's great to create goals. It's great to have something to
Yeah,
look for, then because then the mind is looking forward for something, not, because otherwise it's when you have too much time to sit around and overthink things, and
yeah,
that's when things just get slogged down, and then and then now you find yourself, you're paralyzed. So yeah, as long as you keep setting up goals, and for you it's working out, for other people it could be travel, for somebody
yeah,
else it could be having a hobby. I mean, seriously, I mean, there's just
yeah.
so much to.
Find something that you love.
Exactly, exactly. Especially when you got a new lease on life. So
Yes,
I really
twice.
think that's, yeah. I really think that is amazing. Wow, wow. Okay, so we covered pretty much everything. So what would you like people to know that are on the waiting list? Because there's a lot of anxiety, of course, and
Yeah.
people got
Um,
different things. But what would you like them to know, that are on the waiting list?
just know that the waiting is going to be the hardest part.
Okay.
Is the uncertainty of, will I get this transplant at all? Will I get it now? Will I get it tomorrow? It's a lot of ifs,
Mhm.
you know. Um, but just trust the process. And when you get that transplant, when you do eventually get it, you know, don't take it for granted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody died to give you that chance.
Yeah.
Don't throw it away.
That's deep. I mean, people can't really think about that. I mean, that's really deep. I mean, you're right. It's more than a transaction. It's a
Yes.
sacrifice. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah. And
It's
I try to tell people all the time, I'm like, look, the transplant is halftime.
Mhm.
You have to do everything after to make sure you win the game.
That's right. That's right.
Don't think just because you got a transplant, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like a normal person. You got to work after.
You
It's
gotta work for it. You gotta
yeah,
work for it. And guess what? And it's all worth it. And that's the thing, man.
definitely.
Like some people on the waiting list, when sometimes, like I said, different groups and people are saying like, well, it looks like you guys, are going through a lot. And is it worth it after all? I'm like, hey, listen, it depends on what your life
Yeah,
is worth for you. I can't tell you what your life is worth for you.
yeah.
For me, I'll do it again. If I had,
Oh,
knock on wood, I don't, but I'm saying
yeah.
like for me, it's worth it. For me, every time I wake up, I see my kids, I see my wife, and
Hmm.
how much my kids can get on my nerves. I smile at
Oh,
them
yeah.
because I'm like, what? It's a beautiful new experience that I'm having that there was a possibility I wouldn't have.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you got to see it, man. You got to see that glass half full all the time. You know,
Yeah, I agree.
you got to see it. You know.
Yep, I agree 100%. I know people always tell people, I'm like, look, I can find a positive in anything.
Yeah.
Might not be a huge positive sometimes, but I can find a positive in every single thing. There's no reason to look to the negative all the time.
Exactly. And even if it looks bleak, you say to yourself, you know what? That's a lesson I just learned without
Hmm.
going to school, without paying for tuition. That's a
Yep.
lesson I learned. So you really can put a spin on things to really improve yourself and to really kind of get rid of baggages. I mean, that's
Yep.
one thing that it did for me. I had like, I don't want to say baggages, but I had like, some people I felt that, kind of did me wrong in life, and I was
Mhm.
holding that anger inside. And
Yeah.
after that, man, I'm like, you know what,
What's the
that was
point?
exactly. I'm like, that was so silly. I'm like, I can't change people, but I can change myself.
Exactly.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
100%.
And, I can be, forgiven. That's fine. I mean, I forget, but I forgive. And there's such a weight lift off my chest, man. Like
Yeah.
such a weight lift off my chest. It's like, you know what? Wow. I wish I'd known this before, but maybe that second chance in life is what made me see things that are important, things that are in front of me,
Yeah.
things I'm dealing with every
Maybe
day.
you needed that just to see.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, I tell people, listen, you really have to look, you know, forward to something. Like they said, the present is a gift. By the
Yeah,
way, the present is a gift, and make the most of it and enjoy your life.
I agree.
You know.
100%.
So listen, Paul, I don't want to take too much of your time, and I'm very grateful for your graciousness to really give me that
No
time.
problem.
I mean, it's
Anytime.
funny, we literally hooked up yesterday.
Yeah.
We hooked up last night, boom, 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 boom. It just happened so quickly.
Yep, I was at the gym when I was texting you last night.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like we didn't even get a chance to kind of like sit down and talk. And no, I mean, but I think it went well. I think it did great because the idea is to help people that are in pre-transplant and even those of us that are post-transplant, because it's good to hear what somebody else is going through, what
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
doubts that you may have. Because like I always said in my channel, like we're not here to give medical advice or prescription, none of
No,
that stuff. We leave that to your your care
listen to
team,
your
your
doctor.
hospital, your doctors. But we're here just to give you a perspective of us that went through it,
Hmm.
we are doing, and what life can be about. That it can be a great
Yeah,
life, and then we can enjoy it, man.
definitely.
It's not gloom and doom, brother. It's not gloom and
Oh
doom.
yeah, exactly.
So listen, man, I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time. Like
No problem at
I said,
all.
it happened very quickly.
Thank you for helping me get my story out there. I love talking to people and telling my story.
Absolutely, and I really think it helps me out even talking to somebody. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, you can sit down and write a comment here and there to people, but it's different when you hear it from
yeah.
somebody else. I think it's a beautiful thing. So listen, Paul, I'll be in touch. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we can do this again, man. Because I feel
Thank
like
you. Yeah.
your story is a story that keep evolving, and then we definitely want to check back with you
Oh,
in.
thank you. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate your time, brother.
Oh, no problem.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Well, folks, that concludes my conversation with Paul. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Um, he really is an inspiration to all of us. He has had two double lung transplants. I mean, one double lung transplant is hard enough. He has had two in the span of a 2-year span, which is incredible. His last one was in 2017, so that was about 6 years ago. So he's doing well. He's feeling great. But man, I'm telling you, the inspiration that this guy gives is just truly remarkable. And I really hope that you know, folks that are on the waiting list, even people that are post transplant, it's really encouraging to see somebody who's really a go-getter, who's really after two double lung transplant live his life, enjoy. I mean, the guy even participated in transplant games, which I didn't even know was a thing. In 2018, he was in Salt Lake City, Utah. He participated in 4 events where he had 2 gold and 2 silver. I mean, come on, this guy's the original Iron Man, So, the Avenger, better call him. In any case, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel at Lung Transplant Nation, and also on Instagram at Lung Transplant Nation. Thank you so much. Have a great day.